I love to have a beer with Duncan, 'cause Duncan's me mate. I love to have a beer with... Hey, Stukulele from Uke Mullum here, and thanks for dropping by. Today we're going to talk about how to change the key of a song. We're going to do that by using the Nashville number system. And the song I've chosen to work with is a song made famous by Slim Dusty. It's called I Love to Have a Beer with Duncan, otherwise known as Duncan. So the Nashville number system, you may have seen, it uses Roman numerals. Wikipedia says the Nashville number system is a method of transcribing music by denoting the scale degree on which a chord is built. Denoting the scale degree. What the does that mean? Well, I'll show you. I'm going to do some fancy graphics now so you can see what I'm talking about. If you remember our C major scale lesson we had a while back, it starts like this. And the notes we are playing are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and finishing again on C. Now, the Nashville number system gives all those notes a number. So the first one is 1. Guess what this one is? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you could say 8, but 8 is the same as 1. So you don't really need that. So we only have 7 numbers in the Nashville number system. So what does that mean in terms of a chord progression of a song? Let's have a look at this. I love to have a beer with Duncan. I love to have a beer with Dunk. We drink in moderation and we never ever ever get rollin' drunk. So let's work out what the Nashville number system calls each of those chords. So we start off with the 1 chord, which is the C. So it's telling us that 1 is the home key of the song. And then the next change we're doing is to a G7. Let's count to see where that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, G. So the progression so far goes 1 chord. Love to have a beer with Duncan. I love to have a beer with 5, Dunk. We drink in moderation and we never ever ever forget F chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're using the 4th degree of the scale. Never ever ever get rollin' drunk. Back to the 1. We drink at the town and country where the atmosphere is. Where do we go now? To the 4 chord, the F chord. I love to have a beer with, ooh, a minor 2. Let's check that. 1, 2. We're playing a D chord, D minor. So we're on a 2 chord and it's a minor. The great thing about the Nashville number system is you can actually put the quality of the chord next to the number. So for example, you would have a 1 and in this case, a 2 minor. Let's do the whole song together. Here we go. I love to have a beer with Duncan. I love to have a beer with Dunk. We drink in moderation and we never ever ever get rollin' drunk. We drink at the town and country where the atmosphere is great. I love to have a beer with Duncan, 'cause Duncan's me mate. So there you go. We've worked out that the chord progression for Duncan goes 1, 5, 4, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1. To be precise, 1, 5, 7, 4, 1, 4, minor 2, 5, 7, 1. A lot of figures, a lot of numbers, but that's how it works. Now, supposing we decide that C is a little bit too low to sing in, and let me tell you, it is. So I need to change the key for this song. So how do we do that? Well, it's easy. We know the numbers 1, 5, 4, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1. And let's take it up a tone. So instead of C being the root note, we're going to move it to D. Let's see if I can do it. I love to have a beer with Duncan. Much more comfortable already. I love to have a beer with Dunk. Okay, let's work out where the 5 chord is for D. So we've got D, E, F sharp, G, A. The 5/7 chord is A7. I love to have a beer with Duncan. Oh, I love to have a beer with Dunk. We drink in moderation and we never ever ever get back to the 4 chord, which must be, let's see, G. Never ever ever get rollin' drunk. We drink at the town and country where the atmosphere is to the 4 chord great. I love to have a beer with Duncan. So what's the 2? The minor 2 of D must be E minor. I love to have a beer with Duncan, 'cause Duncan's me mate. Mate, finish on the D. I'm not in C anymore, I'm in D. So that's how great musicians can take any song and understand and remember the chord progression. This is a classic. 1, minor 6, 4, 5. Heard that before? Lots of songs. So we could do that in D, like we just did. So we're playing C, A minor, F to G. Change it to D. We've got D, B minor, G to A. And you could do that in any key. You just need to write down the key with all the letters, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Or if you're starting on, say, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then you can work out, by putting the numbers next to them, which chord you need to play in each song. Now here's a little tip. If you decide in your arrangement you want to go from one key to the next key, a really nice way to help you find the root note is by playing the 5 chord of the key that you're going to. So for example, let's go from love to have a beer with Duncan, 'cause Duncan's me mate. And normally we would go to the 5, back to the 1. But this time, because we're going to go up a key, we're going to go to the 5 of the next key, which is D. So the 5 chord for the key of D is A7. So that kind of gets you ready for the, there's the 1 chord. The thing about a 5 chord is it kind of pulls you away and lands you back home on the 1 chord, if that makes sense. It's not the amen. Amen. It's Does that make sense? So let's see that in action. We go from love to have a beer with Duncan, 'cause Duncan's me mate. Love to have a beer with Duncan. Oh, I love to have a beer with Duncan. That's how you get from one key to the next. You play the 5 chord of the key that you're heading to. Works every time. Hey, thanks so much for hanging around. Please do share this video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so you never miss a uke tutorial. And of course, you can support us by heading on over to patreon.com/Uke Mullum, which is where you'll find some PDF printables for this lesson. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Thank you.